Hello, you're joining me as I prepare for my Bible journaling study in a week or so. We're looking at the Prodigal Son. The resources I'm using are this scrapbooking paper. It's available on Amazon. Beautiful book filled with images. The paper's lovely quality as well, and the images are beautiful. So, however you're feeling and whatever your reflection is on the study, I'm sure you'll find something in this scrapbooking paper. So Jesus begins the parable with there was a man who had two sons. The younger one said to his father, "Father, give me my share of the estate." And he did. So he divided his property between them, between the two sons. Wow, I'm guilty of this, wanting everything now and wanting to have fun and have that instant gratification. And look where it gets us, where we go against what our Father wants for us. And these decisions that I make on my own back for my own, self-gratification often leads to making wrong decisions and having to face consequences. And here we are, this younger son, he finds himself in a field feeding pigs when he could be warm and clean. And we're talking about, in these times, in this context, clean means spiritually clean as well. When you're feeding pigs, you are spiritually unclean as a Jewish person. They were seen as unclean animals. And that's why this person he's hired himself out to wouldn't have done that himself. He wouldn't have fed the pigs himself. He would have had a servant do it for him. But luckily this young man comes to his senses, and he must have sat there for ages figuring out what he was going to say to his father on his return. Sorry, I spent all the money, or he says, I will set out and go back to my father and say to him, Father, I have sinned against heaven and against you. I am no longer worthy to be called your son. That's about right? You've been awful. And he knows he doesn't deserve much better than where he is at the minute. But what happens? This father's been looking out for him for ages. I don't know how long it's been since he left with his pocket full of money. But he goes back, and the father spots him because he's looking out for him. His father's been watching out for him since he left, and he spots him when he's a long way off, and runs to him. And this bunting and there's invitations and things in the scrapbooking book. It's all about his return and how happy he is. He throws a party. The downside is this brother who's like, I've been here for all the while, all this time, and you've never thrown a party for me, for my friends. But the father's so pleased to have his younger son back. He's like, my son, you are always with me, and everything I have is yours. But we had to celebrate and be glad because this brother of yours was dead and he's alive again. He was lost and now he's found. What a wonderful place to be in the Father's heart, back in the Father's arms. And that's worthy of a celebration, definitely. Wouldn't you put the bunting out if that was a situation for you where you lost somebody and they returned to you? I'll trim this off and stick it in my prep notebook. I have a video on that. One of my previous videos just is a flick through on that notebook, and it shows all the prep I do for each of the studies. I sort of trim it down and just stick it into the notebook, or sometimes I stick this straight into my Bible. I make a hash of this actually, just, cutting with scissors, because I can never get a straight line with scissors, so I end up getting literally a pen knife. It looks like a pen, so I've got to be really careful with it with my little one, but it's a really handy to put in a pencil case. So that's a little scalpel there, a little craft knife, and that'll smarten it up. But I hope you've enjoyed this study. I hope I've given you food for thought, and it's something that you will mull over yourself and journal in your Bible.